Women Innovators. Interviews with women with big messages and big missions, sharing their stories to inspire you to live your passion and step up to make the world a better place. Here's your host, Tammy Patzer.
Hi, this is Tammy Patzer, and I'm really excited to introduce you to today's guest, Victoria Lichtman. Victoria is the founder of Nightly Healing, and she's been a force in the human potential movement and healing arts for more than 30 years. She has a focus on healing, self-awareness, and living life more vibrantly. Victoria's passion for empowering people to choose awareness and purpose to develop their own spiritual understanding and to take control of their own healing in lives is the driving force that created the opening for the founding of nightlyhealing.com. Since its inception, Nightly Healing has provided empowerment, inspiration, and healing to a global audience. Victoria works with groups and private clients to obtain true self-discovery, guidance to stand strong in their own wisdom and truth, and to develop their optimal state of life. She helps you identify what is the meaning and purpose in this stage of your life. And then Victoria helps you create it. Welcome, Victoria.
Oh, thank you, Tammy. And please call me Vicki.
Okay.
Victoria is the name I use, on all of my papers, but please call me Vicki. And what a beautiful introduction. Thank you very much.
Well, Vicki, I'm really, truly excited because you are what I would call a true innovator, and you are a woman, so therefore you are a woman innovator. And what I really think that just stands out so much about you is that you created Nightly Healing, and it ran between 2008 and 2014, and you are currently revamping it and bringing it into 2017. So I think that is really, really cool. So tell me more. How did you get started on this journey?
I love that question because it certainly didn't start with Nightly Healing, and it didn't even start as an adult. I started this journey when I was a little girl. I remember, and I grew up with such a beloved family. I mean, my parents, my brother, of course, we were dysfunctional like everybody in the world, but it was so loving. And I still felt disconnected. I remember I was 3 or 4, and I was in the house with my parents were there, and I was trying to play alone in my room, and I felt so disconnected. I just felt like I needed to understand. It was like an itch. It was like a yearning. I wasn't able to comprehend it then. I just knew that there was an emptiness. And it turned into a lifelong search for wisdom, for meaning, for happiness, for purpose, for God, for grace. I just craved it, Tammy, to the exclusion of all else. There was no truly being happy or satisfied. There was no being completely present for others, which isn't very good when you're coaching them. And others, no less myself, there was no being completely present for myself. I always felt all through my life a little empty, that there was a part of me that was unfulfilled. And no matter what happened in my life, I kind of knew that there was something missing. And I've come to realize just how many people feel that way. And I searched. I traveled to India and back. I searched so many traditions, traveled to far-off countries, and I realized also that when I was in the act of searching, I could not find. The very act of searching prevented me from finding, and that's a really important concept to understand. When we continually search, which so many of us do, we cannot find. You have to stand and dive deeply enough to be really present with what's there. So that's how I started. I took all the courses that I could find. I got a master's degree. I got certifications. I got all of it. And then I was about 15, and I was in a drugstore, and I had one of those huge aha moments. I picked out a greeting card, and it said that life was God's gift to me. Life and purpose were God's gift to me. And what I do with my life is my gift back to the universe, to God. And I'm using the word God, but so many people, they don't use that. So whatever word you use for that. And I just knew I just finished the practitioner training for the Journey, which is a transformational cellular level healing modality. And I realized I just wanted something more, to do something. And my prayer for that just grew huge. That's how I got started as a woman innovator, and then the story goes into then what I actually started doing as my prayer grew stronger and became answered.
So on this journey, I think you bring up a good point. You said that in all the searching, and you literally went around the world trying to find out what your purpose and your destiny was, what did you finally determine? Or are you still searching?
No, I'm not. I mean, there's, of course, I go back into that pattern every once in a while, but I recognize it right away. And the truth of what I found is that there was nothing to find. It was all inside of me. There was nothing to find outside. It became the path became one of self-awareness, of really delving into who I am instead of what's out there for me, because it's all inside.
That is extremely powerful. And right there, if that's the only thing you get out of listening to this conversation, that it is all inside of you, that is worth gold right there. So tell me more about your journey, because obviously we could talk about all kinds of different things, but tell me more about what nightly healing was and is becoming.
All right, I would love to do that. And I'm going to, if it's okay with you, Tammy, I'm going to base this, even telling people about nightly healing, I'd like to base it on finding purpose and meaning in our life, because that's what nightly healing did for me, and that's what I want for everybody. So if that's okay with you, I'm going to, when I had a growing passion. The more mature I became, and the more I started realizing about myself, and the more prayer I was putting out, I recognized that I had a growing passion for empowering people to choose awareness, to choose purpose, to develop their own spiritual understanding, and to take control of their own healing in lives. And I went to bed one night, and this prayer was just so huge. I was in tears a lot of days because I just had this craving. And I went to bed, and I heard the word nightly healing. I was kind of in between awake and asleep, and my jaw dropped open, or at least my spiritual jaw dropped open, and I jumped out of bed, and I looked it up online, and nightlyhealing.com was available, and that was the beginning of it. And what nightly healing was, in the years that it was open, we had a nightly call. And it was, oh my God, we had presenters from around the world who went through a lot of the same training that I did. So I trusted their abilities. We had listeners from around the world. Every single night there was a meditation, there was a visualization, there was empowerment. It was an opportunity for people to come and be a conscious participant in their lives, to be empowered to discover and stand strong in who they really are, no matter what was taking place in their life. And I did a survey of why people came, and I was very surprised by the results. when I heard it from the people that came. Over 70% of the people that responded said that they joined Nightly Healing for a desire for deeper spiritual connection. 66% joined to feel empowered and inspired. A high percentage joined for greater self-awareness, to take control of their own healing process, to make more conscious choices. They desired deeper meaning in life. They desired to learn meditation and to quiet the mind. They desired greater peace in their lives. And what we did was we provided them a moment to consciously slow down, to experience peace and inner quiet, to reconnect to themselves, to be in the consciousness of oneness and healing, and to know that they're not alone. Loneliness is a huge issue in our culture, or maybe in all cultures, because, well, people are lonely. And I used to be. It was one of my biggest fears. What the overarching message was from the survey and from speaking to people and from being with them for so many years, that they looked at Nightly Healing as a means to facilitate a meditation practice, to become more spiritually connected, and for personal empowerment. Personal empowerment was so big in this. And then what happened was we stopped Nightly Healing. I stopped Nightly Healing. I got burned out, Tammy. I got financially burned out because it was free all those years. It was absolutely free. I wanted to give, which was a very misguided notion, not the giving, but to have it for free, that I thought, I'm getting back enough in how I feel. And truthfully, I was. But there's also the give and take of the universe. So, I wasn't open to it at that time. And I needed a couple of years to work privately with people, to do my work with groups, and to be able to go back into Nightly Healing in a new format, and we're coming up with a new format with it, and to be able to empower people where they are taking part in their own empowerment. So what the plans are for Nightly Healing, and don't hold me to it, but what we are developing right now is having Nightly Healing a private group on Facebook where people can share, where we have our meditations, where we are able to be with people through Facebook Live, where we're able to tell people of what's coming up, of courses that they might be interested in, of beautiful things to empower them. And I look forward to this tremendously. I can't tell you how much I miss Nightly Healing, the community, the people, the being able to speak. And there was something that happened, Tammy. You've probably experienced it, and probably many of the people that are listening. Every once in a while we say something, and we stop and go, well, where did that come from? It's like something took us over, and I would think, oh my God, did I really say that? There was so much wisdom there. And it wasn't me. It was the universe. It was the energy of the universe. It was grace speaking through me. And the feeling when that happens is, oh my God, it's so delicious and fulfilling. And I miss that. So I'm very much looking forward to restarting Nightly Healing.
Well, I think that you definitely should, because now more than ever, people need that type of a foundation, and people are looking for a purpose. They are looking for ways to have their voices heard and ways to get centered and to live and have a better life. So I'm really looking forward to that. Not only that, but you also have the archives of all of the previous Nightly Healings that you'll be able to draw from too. So the people, even if they're coming to know you today, they will have access to all of the years of Nightly Healing that you will be able to offer. So I think that's something that people can really look forward to. So I would like to ask you a little bit more about the ideas of finding your purpose and finding your own meaning, because I think again, we're so ingrained with what other people have taught us, what other people think about us. It seems like we worry so much about that. And like you said, you can search the world over, and you're going to end up finding that it is within you. And I really think that is a point well taken. So can you talk a little bit more about, maybe offer some ways that if somebody is looking for purpose, what might be some of the things they could, maybe one or two tips about how they might start to figure that out?
I am going to give you I can't wait to speak about this.
Good.
About purpose, what it means in our lives. And I think that one of the biggest questions we can ask ourselves is, what is it? What does purpose mean? What does meaning mean? Meaning in our lives? Because these big words, Tammy, we only know the definitions that we've been taught. So what is purpose really to you? Not a definition you've been taught. And for everybody to ask that, to really ask that, purpose, we were speaking a couple days ago, and you mentioned that the word innovator is someone who takes an idea and took action. And I loved that, because to me, the action, the doing, is the expression of our purpose, of our meaning, and of our connection to whatever it is that we desire to be connected to. Purpose is an underlying intention that drives thought and action. It's I love helping people go beyond their previous understanding of what purpose is, to let go of beliefs that no longer serve them, developing connections so that they can be who they might be. Did you ever hear, I think it's Lao Tzu is how it's pronounced, his beautiful words of, when we let go of who we are, we become who we might be. When we let go of who we are, we become who we might be. And I know that for myself, I was the biggest hurdle. I was scared of being myself. I was scared to show up in my life. And if we were to be in touch with who we are in order to live our purpose, we would have to be in touch with our greatness. And as we've heard in the past, this is our biggest fear. And I agree with that. So many of us aspire to something bigger and better and happier and higher. And we can have that. I mean, what would it feel like? What would it feel like to wake up in the morning now and know that there's a purpose? Know that there's a reason to wake up. I know that for me, it took away my loneliness, because there was a reason to live. And what I did a survey. I loved the survey. I only did 2 surveys, and I'm speaking about them both, but I love this one. I asked people, what is purpose to you? I asked them, and I had a huge response. And the main answers were, people are tired of waking up not knowing what they want to do with their lives. They desire to find harmony, peace, well-being. Many were very secretly scared of coming to the end of their lives and feeling it was all pointless for naught. And I really sat with these answers, Tammy, and was blown away, because, well, your question of how do you create a life that is meaningful and purposeful for you, and not others. We conform to others. We conform to their rules, their shoulds, their coulds, the desires, the constructs that rule our lives, the constructs of our religions, of our doctors, of the gift of purpose, the importance to have our own meaning, not what others have taught us. And with these constructs, what would happen if they all fell? What would be left? What would you choose for your own? I mean, even our belief systems, it's what we're taught, and then what we experience as very young children can start really developing those beliefs and carry them through our lives. And do you believe that you deserve joy and happiness? I'm not asking this of you, Tammy. Anybody that's reading or listening to this, do you believe that you deserve joy and happiness? We are so hard on ourselves. So, how do we create a life that is meaningful and purposeful? In my experience, for myself, and that's all I can speak from is my experience of myself, my experience of my friends, my experience of my clients, and mostly in the experience of myself. I found that it is very tied into gratitude and self-awareness. And gratitude is a whole different topic, but what it is, it's going to gratitude for some people is like going from self-hate to self-love. You say, well, loving yourself is the most important thing, and they're going, oh, yes, thank you for saying that. And inside they're going, are you kidding me? I hate myself. How am I supposed to get from here to self-love? Well, the same can go for gratitude. And for years I questioned what is gratitude. So from going to the attitude of negativity, of fear, of rage, we can go to gratitude. And to start gratitude, I go to bed at night, and I tell people this, and I told them for years on Nightly Healing, and I practice this. I go to bed at night, and I close my eyes, and I think, what is something that I can be grateful for that I did today? And then my next question is, what can I do tomorrow that when I go to sleep tonight, I can feel good about, be grateful for? If gratitude is not a word yet for you, then what will I feel good about? And when I wake up in the morning, I rub my toes together and I cuddle into my blankets for a second and I go, oh, good, what can I do today that I'll feel good about tonight when I go to sleep? That's how I started gratitude, and I continue to do it because it's just yummy. The other thing of how to find purpose in our lives, the first one is developing gratitude. The second one is how to become self-aware and live by choice. The values. What are your values? Are they what other people gave you? Have you chosen your own? You don't have to live by other people's values. And the third thing, after becoming self-aware, developing gratitude, the third thing was recognizing, for me it was recognizing my role and my role of the victim blame. I was a victim, and I blamed others. I was a victim to the world, and I blamed the world. I was a victim to the universe. If I got sick, it was somebody doing it to me, the universe doing it to me. If I didn't live purpose, whatever it was, I was a victim to whatever caused it. And I blamed whatever caused it. So there was no real being with myself. The victim blame has to stop. The other thing that we can do, and that I love working with people on, we are so fixed in where we are, the box, our story, that we don't even see what's outside of it. Yet most people have that feeling inside that pulls at them, a craving that life can be different, that they can be different, that they can make a difference in the world, and they can. And I love helping people open to the possibilities of getting to know what it is that they really want to do at this stage of their life. I love empowering them. I love clearing out the old stuff, making way for the new stuff, and working with people as they go for it. And that opening to possibilities is wonderful. I live a very different life now, Tammy. I live one with fulfillment, with gratitude, with purpose. I have energy to live. I have life in my heart.
Wow. Just listening to you, it's like, it's one of those things, like you said, it's so yummy.
Yeah.
It's like, it's just listening to you, and I understand why Nightly Healing was such a popular show, because the way you describe things, you just say, I want that. I want to have that feeling of being aware and of having gratitude and just being thankful of what you have in your life and what your life is. And then, of course, I love that about not blaming everything and everyone else about what's going on, because when you live from that point of view, where it's everybody else's, the victim point of view, there isn't very much joy, because everything is about being done to you. So I really like the idea about taking control. So I want to ask you more about how you work with people. I know that you obviously can work with people in person, but what other ways do you work with people? And tell me more about your courses.
Oh, I have 4 courses that I give. The first is, it's so hard to speak about this for me. It's ridiculous. So I work with individuals and groups, and the courses specialize in compassion fatigue, in healing ourselves, forgiveness, depression, the importance and gift of emotions. And I think that probably the gift of emotions is the first one that I encourage people to take. And it's a huge amount of the work I do with people one-on-one. Emotions is something that we try to avoid. Deep emotions, the scary emotions, the anger, the rage, the fear, the terror, these things, we don't want to feel them. The sadness, the grief, it's like we don't consider those good emotions. Well, there's no good or bad. The emotions are a gift. Without a human body, how would we even know that we're experiencing emotion? If we don't feel the physicality of it, like if we're feeling sad and we're going to cry, the tears, the bunching of the muscles in the face, when we're angry or just almost in a car accident and the fear racing through us, it's like that energy racing through us. Emotions are energy. And I give a course on understanding emotions so that we're not so emotionally illiterate. It's wonderful about how and why we feel and how to feel in a healthy way. And the next one I give is Awareness 101. Right? When we talk about awareness these days, it's a common word, but what is it? In this course is the basics of discovering oneself and living by choice. The third one is forgiveness. Forgiveness is a conscious choice, and forgiveness, this is understanding and coming to a place of forgiveness in our lives, a place to move forward with clarity and joy. Most people really misconstrue the meaning of forgiveness. It's not about the other person. It's only about us. And what it really is, it's an opportunity to let go, so that we're not carrying the past wrapped around us as a shroud or something that we're proud of or something that we're fearful of or something that we're trying to keep alive. It's just letting go. And it's just life-changing when we find forgiveness. And the fourth one is, I named it, for good reason, I named it Deconstructing God, a call to purpose and meaning. And like I brought up before, God, the word God can be different things to different people. Some people, grew up with fear of God, or they developed a dislike of the church, or they were treated poorly in a recognized religion. There's so many reasons. This is one of our main belief systems, and we are taught by our religions, by our parents, by our culture, what God is supposed to mean. And what if we completely deconstructed that and developed our own relationship with the divine? What if we just completely developed our own relationship because this course would make this brings us to a call to purpose and meaning. So those are four that I...
Oh, I'm just amazed at those, because you're addressing all of these big issues that stop so many people in their track, and deconstructing God. I mean, some people are afraid to use the word God because they think that other people will, attach a religion to it instead of just God as the one, the I am, the universe. That's why I often call God the universe,
right,
because it seems to be a word that I don't get too much trouble in, because people know that I'm not attaching a religion to it when I say the universe. But it is God. I mean, that is
it's our understanding of the divine. Whether
right.
we name it God, whether we name it grace, whether we name it universe, whatever we name it, it's our name. Right? It's beautifully said, Tammy.
And like I said, every single thing that I know why nightly healing was so popular. And like you said, I wrote, as you were talking, you had talked about 70% of the people who you surveyed said they had a desire for a deeper spiritual connection. 66%, they wanted to be empowered and inspired. But think about that. If 7 out of 10 people are seeking a deeper spiritual connection, and you can help them with just this one little teeny thing, deconstructing God or the divine, a call to purpose and meaning, what a phenomenal gift that you are giving to the world. And because you're helping them to realize who they are, and that they are God, or part of God, of the whole big universal thing. And I think that's what so many of us miss out on, that we don't, because like you said, you, even as a small child, you knew that you were feeling disconnected and you wanted to feel connected, yet you didn't have the tools for getting reconnected. Like maybe you forgot, because of whatever. And just think, Vicki, you are here as a human being, and you have the tools to help someone connect, to help them find that purpose and their meaning. So what a powerful message and a powerful mission you have to be someone who has that ability to help others in such a profound way. Do you even see how wonderful that gift you give is?
Thank you.
I know that's a hard question.
It is a hard
to ask somebody. Do you know how cool you are?
Well, thank you. And when you speak about that work and the importance of it, I get tears, because for me it's just so beautiful, and so we hold on to our past, whether we're holding on to other people's constructs, whether we're holding on to our own experiences, and we hold on, even if they're unforgivable, hurtful, painful, we hold on to them. And if it's time for all of us to let go and live. Just live. I find that a lot of people's deepest fears when I'm working with them, one of their deepest fear is secretly feeling that suffering is the reality, and that God and meaning is the illusion. I mean, it's not. We have the choice of which we make what. and letting go of what's holding us to our past and moving forward in our lives by choice, in purpose. I don't mean purpose meaning having purpose and meaning, but purposefully moving forward by choice is unbelievably powerful, unbelievably sustaining. It's sustainable, and unbelievably life-changing, not just for ourselves, but for the people that are around us, because they will be inspired just by what happens to do this for themselves. Whatever we do, it's not for other people anymore, it's for us. You know, I hear people say, well, I give because you know, for whatever reason. But if they didn't give, if they didn't get something from the giving, they wouldn't give. So we have to recognize that it's all about us. If we run out of energy, it's not about the other person draining us. It's about us. Whatever happens, it's about me, not us. It's about me. And to be able to allow people to, watching the light go off in their eyes as their lives start to develop more of how they want, when they were scared before to choose or didn't even know that there was a possibility. When I work privately with people now, I do a combination of deep emotional processing and coaching, whatever the recipe is for what that person needs. But I like combining it with the coaching over a longer period of time, because it allows people to bring the aha moments right into their lives. It allows it allows the opportunity to see how we are showing up in life as life is showing up for us, and to make changes if we want. It helps bring heightened awareness of our behaviors, our patterns, our unconscious choices, and allow us to live in choice. But I have to say that the most important work I do, and I recognize this, the main work I do is to see others larger than they see themselves, to see them greater than, to see them in their highest potential when they don't. Because and the other thing is, when I forget to be around the people that when I look in their eyes, I can remember. Because we all forget. You know, and I tell people, you know, when you forget, see yourself through my eyes, because I see the truth of who you are, of who you are capable of being. And when you say that you're doing these books for, you know, women innovators, for us to be empowered, I mean, Tammy, the work you're doing, the empowerment that you're giving those of us that are being interviewed to clarify our message, to have an opportunity to speak our voice, to open, for the beauty that you're giving people to be able to read these stories and become empowered to do it themselves. You know, with Nightly Healing, I planted a white flag in the ground. Somebody said, you just have to plant a flag in the ground. So I planted a flag. And I had people from all over the world grabbing that flag and going, me, I want in. And I'm going, sure, come on. We can all do that.
That is so beautiful. And I think, number one, those of you who are listening, and if you have the goosebumps or the angel bumps, and this is so inspiring, definitely you're going to want to download this, listen to it, you know, put it in your car, because you have the capability now of listening to the podcasts and stuff right in your car with the new technology. But listen to what Vicki is saying and be inspired, and because there's just something about, like you said, when you're able to see the light shine, it's like the light turns on in someone and all of a sudden they are joyful. They're smiling, they're joyful. their energy level, their vibration goes up, and they're just a light. That, you know how your energy grows and grows, and you get bigger, you know, with your energy when you are on purpose, and when you have that clarity and that flow. And that is the true expression of the divine or grace or God or the universe, whatever you want to call it. And so I'm just fascinated by, I'm thinking about, Vicki, the very fact that you have, more than 600 nightly healings in archives that you can share with the world. And I'm just thinking about the people listening today. And I'm happy to say that if you really liked what you heard from Vicki today, think about the fact that she has 600 archived nightly healings that she can share, and then going forward, there'll be new ones. But it's something that you can experience, this power that she's helped, that she literally spread the healing message around the world to help the people who have this desire for a deeper spiritual connection. And not only did Vicki do this, but she had other people with phenomenal backgrounds who all came forward to help her facilitate this day after day, night after night, year after year. And now it's in this rebirth. And so I'm really excited about what the future holds. And like I said, share this, subscribe, and go check out Vicki. Vicki, tell us, where can we find out more about you and your services?
Well, for right now, because my website's being revamped, you can go to the Nightly Healing website, but it's being revamped, nightlyhealing.com. Please know that what's up there is the format of the old call, but there's pages about me up there and some of the courses I give. And for right now, what you can do is you can come and befriend me on Facebook, Victoria Lichtman, Lichtman. Please follow the Nightly Healing page, Nightly Healing, NIGHTLYHEALING. And on that page is where I will be able to keep in touch with you to be able to let you know what's happening, what's coming up, when it's going to start. I'm going to be forming, by the time you listen to this, people, you're probably already going to go there and you're going to find a private group. But go to Nightly Healing and follow, and you'll see all the things there. I'm planning on making that a great little Facebook page for people to be able to put their name in a mailing list so that I can email you. You are always welcome to email me with any questions or with your email, Victoria@nightlyhealing.com, Victoria@nightlyhealing.com. And you know, Tammy, you talked about nightly healing, and I know you were very taken with the desire for spiritual connection. That was the main part of what people said. But actually, when people first came, that was what they got from it, right? When they first came, they were coming for support, for connection. I don't think that they realized that they would say after 6 months or 2 years that they were there to develop a spiritual connection. I was shocked when I read that. I didn't realize that that's what people were getting from it. And my heart just soared. But when they first come, they come for greater self-awareness. They want to feel empowered, inspired. So please, people, don't let spiritual connection scare you away, because when you have it, it's the most beautiful thing you can imagine, and you deserve it. And Tammy, is it okay if I just say one more thing to people?
Yes, please.
You know, if there's anything that I most want people to hear, it's that be gentle with yourself. Be gentle with you. For you are absolutely amazing. The wholeness, the love, the connection, the beauty, the greatness that you are is already waiting inside of you. You are absolutely amazing. And maybe it's time for you to know it.
Vicki, thank you so much for sharing everything that you've shared with us today.
Oh, thank you for putting this together, Tammy, for inviting me. And I can't wait to hear the other women innovators and what they say, because they are living inspired lives to do what they're doing, and I just think it's so amazing.
This is Tammy Patzer. Go make it a beautiful day.
You've been listening to Women Innovators with Tammy Patzer. To learn more, please go to womeninnovatorsradio.com. And please do subscribe and share to spread the big messages and big missions to change the world.